How Bizarre is intended for mature, open-minded audiences only. If you are easily offended, we suggest you turn this wacky shit straight off.
And we got to keep you around because, you know, everyone expects Ron to die first. Let's be real.
You think? Is there a pool going around?
New 2024 Deadpool.
Yeah.
Oh, Deadpool. I get it. Okay. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if I was the next to go.
Let's not even. I was making a joke because I saw you pop on. We were talking about making healthier life choices to extend our lives.
Well, as I was saying, I wouldn't be surprised if I was next to go. No, New Year's resolution. Actually, my New Year's resolution is to say no more to things. I said yes to way too many fucking things this last few months.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. That sucks.
No, it's
wants
all.
a piece of the roster.
It was fun stuff. Really fun stuff, and really big, stressful big events. And then I've basically been sick since before Thanksgiving and had to deal with all that. I got a little bit better enough to do the events, and then I got sick again, and I got a little bit better enough to do the last events. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? But
Any
got
COVID
through them all.
dove, or are you still,
Say that again.
Any COVID dove? COVID?
No, wasn't the Kobe dove. It might have been a type of flu, but I think it was the RSV. It was just a gnarly cold.
That's exactly. So Christmas Eve, I woke up and I had a bit of a cough, and I went to host the Seahawk game at the bar, made pancakes at the bar, and there was only like 5 people that showed up, so it was a 10 a.m. game, and Seahawks have been a rough go this season.
Yes.
And I got home. My mom's on her way to spend Christmas Eve with me and Logue, and Bridget comes over to make a meal, and by the time my mom gets here, I'm like, I am so sorry, I have to go to bed. Like, I had fucking fever, chills, nausea. So I went to bed, missed Christmas dinner, was barely able to get up out of bed and do Christmas gifts with the kid, and then went right back to bed. It was fucking, I think, and I had started with as you can hear in my voice, I'm not fucking 100% yet. This was Christmas, bitch.
Yeah, I know. I went all the way back to Thanksgiving. I missed Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Oh, man.
But it is, whatever it was, we probably do have the same thing, or did, because
making up so much.
There's about 3 or 4 days where I didn't have much of a voice at all. When Sarah got it, she had a similar thing, and I hear people all over town just like they can't talk. Whatever this thing is, it attacks the vocal cords. Not too fun.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Too fun at all. And I still got this lingering cough. There's nothing to cough at this point. It's just like it did a number on me, and it's just lingering effects. But here we are in 2024. We somehow managed to get here. Is there a baby in the background?
It's my dog.
I was like, which one of us had a baby? Since we last talked.
John Mark's like, guys, I got something to tell y'all.
It's like, it's been a while, but has it been that long?
Oh my God.
No, I gave him one of the last. So we had subscribed to BarkBox for a long time, and I didn't realize I signed up for it for like a 6-month trial, but what I didn't realize was that
10 years later,
that it was not just a 6. They were just like, oh, well, you didn't say quit.
So yeah, another 6 months on the card.
Fucking charging me, and I was like, wait, how much is this costing me anyways? It was like, what the fuck? So I was like, okay, and they're like, well, you're signed up through November. I was like, okay, well, we're canceling after the last box, and because they just kept coming. It was like we almost had too many Bark boxes. So it was like, I think we're okay for a while. So we canceled it. And this is one of his last toys from the last box. He didn't really get much exercise today. So it's like, I need to do something for him to make him like use his brain and tire himself out that way. Uh-huh. So it's like, it looks like an old Blockbuster video cassette box. And it's Barkbuster probably, I think. And
I like it.
If you pull the lid open, and it says the title of the tape is Drool Intentions, and it's got like the lid is like velcroed down, and there's like a little slit in the side where you can put treats and put the close the lid. So I put some treats in there and closed it, and he's just been going ham on that thing for like the last 20 minutes.
I love that you can tell that people our age they grew up and now they're making products and running their own businesses, and they're doing all the stupid shit that we would do if we were in those positions, like make chew toys, called Barkbuster that looks like a fucking VHS rental case. Yeah, that's good. Well, it's okay. It's not bugging me back there or anything. It just really sounded like a baby. I was like, that's too young to be Logie Dog.
Well, I'll try to keep it. I'll try to keep it muted when I'm not talking while he's working on that thing.
Just be sure he be's kind and rewinds. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I think Lyle must be, taking one of his baths or something.
He's on.
He's on. He's in here. I think it's possible he didn't know we moved the time a little ahead.
Yeah, well, he popped on, but he never said anything. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, Lyle, you trying to talk? Audio sounds a little weird tonight on my end from you guys. I wonder if one of these cables.
Mine had another update, so fuck me.
Kind of funky. I mean, it sounds like it's like not the right cables. I do have a kooky setup here, but I can put a filter on that to help to some degree. But we're all here, and
yeah. Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah, indeed.
Happy New Year.
It sounds like we were all kind of sick or otherwise busy, but
let's all enjoy the next few weeks and maybe a couple months before utter chaos reigns, shall we?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, man.
Before the storm.
Yeah, I've been talking the whole fucking time.
Oh, Lyle. He's like, why are these bitches talking over me?
Well, I'm
What
like,
the fuck?
John Mark. Hey, John Mark. And you guys are like all talking over me. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, that's funny. Well,
Yeah,
you're here
well,
now.
I was going to say,
What happened?
There's a specific test next month that when I'm over in Seattle that I have to do. And what they do is they raise your heart rate. Usually they stick you on a treadmill and they get your heart rate to go up that way, but I can't do that. So what they have to do it in a drip. So they have to intravenously put a drip on me. And I did it last time and it was it sucked. But they have to do it again. But if my blood pressure's too high, they won't do it.
Yeah.
So it's your blood pressure is a really big thing when it comes to medical tests and
Being
stuff.
alive.
Being alive.
Directly
that.
connected
We were
to the
just talking
kidneys.
about this before you got on. Well, maybe you were listening.
Yeah,
was there.
maybe you were part of it.
I was there the whole time. I've been online for 20 minutes. So,
Oh, that's fucking funny.
or at least half hour.
I figured
Speaking
you
of,
must be trying to talk.
speaking of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm done.
Speaking of timeline, do you want to talk a little bit about our new experiment we're going to try tonight, buddy?
Yeah, I think we teased on one of the last
We did.
shows,
Yeah, we
but
did.
the idea is to, since obviously I think both December and November we put out one episode, and now normally we've been pretty busy, and so it's just hard to get 4 episodes out a month like we used to do. But we thought we're gonna try to do 2 shows in one go, which will mean a couple of things. Obviously, we will be aiming toward a shorter show. But, I think in the grand scheme of things, it will still have the same feel and a bit of the same flow. It just won't quite be as long. But we'll try to get 2 back-to-back episodes. And I think for the most part, we won't treat it like a 1 and 2 parter. Those always kind of bug me as a listener. But we might do that every now and again. So it'll be mostly just 2 separate shows. And I think we'll aim for doing Weird Triv at the end of each one. Yeah, so they'll kind of just be a little canned, not canned, because it's still going to be an hour-ish, give or take. Yeah. So, and I think no matter what, we'll end up having at least 2 or 3 episodes a month, barring any serious emergencies, and then get back on track to regular communication, because I've missed it. It's not that we've got tired of doing it. It's just like so much shit going on, and the holidays always exacerbate that. And then we got sick, and it's just like, fuck it, let's just try again next year. And here we are, ready to try again. So that is the plan. We'll see how it goes. Might be a little kooky at first. We'll, we've been free-forming it for a while, so we just got to watch the clock a bit. And we'll see how it goes. I think it's the right choice. We'll give it a go, anywho.
I guess I was the only one that got COVID while we were gone.
No, I think John Marr got it for the first time, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind.
Feels like the first time.
Yeah.
Dodged it for a long time. Gave it a
Yep.
respectable dodge there.
Yeah, it's so crazy because I was going to all these freaking shows like all year,
know.
like not wearing a mask or anything,
It
and
is
then
nuts,
suddenly,
man.
Yeah.
and then like the last 2 months, nothing. I don't do anything except go to the grocery store and fucking the laundromat, and then suddenly, what the hell? Like, I don't know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you just like, I feel like a god? Everywhere you went.
No, I knew it was gonna happen eventually, but
Yeah. That was you had a long stint. You didn't get it at all. So.
yeah, like
I've
almost
had
4
Literally
years.
at every fucking busy, packed, sweaty show for
Right. You just
2
roll around the
plus
front
years.
row.
Mhm.
Give it to me.
Just licking doorknobs and
Yeah.
rolling around on the bathroom floor, barfoot.
Couldn't believe it, honestly.
Yeah.
He was just days away from sending that email to the CDC saying, my blood has the cure.
Wait a minute. What's this
Antibodies.
tickle in the back of my throat? Hang on. Yeah.
I always notice. Well, when you're in dialysis, they have to separate you. So instead of my normal 5-hour run, they had to only give me a 3-hour run because it's more humane when you're sick, I guess.
Yeah.
But they'll put you in a corner, so it's usually later in the day.
Well, no one puts baby in the
so-
corner.
Right? They put LT in the corner. Made me sad. But normally my dialysis hours are 6 to 11:30 ish.
Mm-hmm.
They were putting me in at like 1 o'clock or noon, like 12:30 till like 3:34. It sucked. Talk about your whole afternoon going to crap, but it was only a week of it.
Well, I was going to say, compared to last time where you literally almost died,
I was in the hospital. Yeah.
you
They
kicked
did
its
it
ass
there.
this time. Yeah. I was worried when you said, oh, fuck, I got COVID. I was like, oh, no.
I
And I
was
was in the
worried
middle
too.
of being sick and doing all these events, and I was like, fuck, I didn't have a lot of time to think about it. And then when things slowed down again, it's like, oh, shit, Lyle's got COVID. Better check in on that. But, yeah, you always seem to be doing pretty decent with it. Thank Christ.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
they did a test there. I came up positive, and then after a little while, my mom was having issues. Obviously, you guys remember my dad passed.
Yeah.
They've always had issues with their sewer. The sewage that goes from the house to the sewage in the road, like underground. It seemed like every other year to every year we'd have to take a snake and snake it, and I got sick of doing it for so many years that I just bought him one, and we put it downstairs. So whenever it happened, all you have to do is plug it in and run it, and you're good to go. And it backed up right when I found out I had COVID. So she's, she can't do a load of laundry without taking buckets of water outside.
Damn.
It's just like, Jesus, okay. So I'll tell you what, either I'll do this when you're at work, and I'll go down there and do it, or whatever. But I stopped in, and she had kits, so I tested myself, and it's only 15 minutes, and it came back negative. So I was like, well, shit, sweet. I'll just hang out and
Yeah.
do some work for you. But
Yeah. Well, hopefully
that
we're
all
all on the
addressed.
fucking mend for the rest of the year. I feel like I got a whole year's worth of fucking bug time in the last 3 months, but
I do got a funny story though.
yeah.
I went to Little Caesars across town to get a pizza. This is a while back, a couple weeks ago.
Pizza.
And I got this is one. I each their own, but I cannot stand pineapple on any kind of pizza.
Yeah.
Just
Dead
can't
to
do
me.
it. Right?
Yeah.
But I love ham. I love ham, and I love mushrooms and black olives and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I get a ham and I believe a mushroom pizza. I said, "Can I just one? It's fine, whatever. Go, 10 minutes. I wait, I grab it, I leave, I go home. As soon as I get home, I open it up, and it's ham and pineapple.
Mm.
And I blow a gasket. I'm like, oh my goodness.
Son of a
So I
bitch. Why'd
call
it
them
have to be
on
pineapple?
redial for an hour, and they never answered back the phone.
Huh.
And finally, I picked up the pizza, threw it in the back of the car, and drove clear across town.
Oh my God.
I said,
The
dude,
war on pineapple runs
I'm
deep.
mad. I'm really pissed about this.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, that's our fuck up. We fucked it up. It's our problem. We'll take care of it. No problem. And I said, okay, how long is it going to be? I said, oh, it'll be like 15 minutes. I'm like, cool. Probably, no, I'll go for a walk. So I'm in the strip mall, over in Wenatchee, and I decided to go see Skylar because I figured maybe she might be working at the little place called For the Love of It, right?
Yeah.
Never been in there.
Adult shop, yeah.
Never been in there in my life. And so I walk in the
wow,
front.
you should treat yourself more, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to describe it for you guys. I walk in there, and it caters more to women than anything. And as I walk in, and it's a 18 and up, obviously, shop. I didn't think it was like the Eastside Arcade type, and it's not. They don't sell pornography per se, but they do sell like dildos and vibrators. So like, there's 4 walls to the building, right? You got the glass front, and the rest of the fucking walls from the floor to the ceiling are dildos.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the shit? And I'm not a very, it takes a lot for me to blush, dude. And I'm a pretty well endowed guy as it is.
Took a wall of dildos for that.
Dude, I'm telling you, some of those you could. I mean, they were like as big as my arm.
Putting the crippler
Holy crap!
at a rare disadvantage.
I felt a little bit
Escalated there, man.
A little bit crippled.
Tucked between my legs and walked out.
Yeah.
I did. There's a couple
you
hot
can't
chicks in
compete
there.
with manufactured goods. I mean, come on.
No, you can't. But it's in the same sense as like, who's using that kind of shit.
Oh my God. Yeah. I've known some people that I always think that, I think, how does it even work? Like, how is this not breaking things and injuring things? Women's body and even just asses. I mean, we've all seen shit at this point. Like, what is even happening? The body is flexible in certain parts,
Malleable.
in certain ways, and quite most malleable. And so, who the fuck knows? I mean, women give birth to fucking 10-pound babies, so.
Oh, for sure.
It's like, an arm can go up and through that, and some of those dildos are, I wouldn't say I've seen too many that are as thick as a baby, and that's what they can pass all the way fucking out of them.
Well, you didn't go to the north side of the
Give me a
wall, did
dildo
you?
that's as thick as a baby. Now, when you say thick,
Give me that double baby.
Well,
Triple baby.
I don't think I'm moving
the
up to
funny
triple
part,
baby.
and the reason why I bring it up is because I walked in there, kind of like, yeah, what's going on, man? Hey, man, I'm
Yeah,
Dr.
cool,
Chill.
daddy. Oh, shit.
Cool, daddy.
Yeah.
I'm here to see somebody, but it doesn't look like she's here.
Hello, fellow perverts.
Gotta move,
She goes,
gotta
yeah, we'll
moonwalk the
just
fuck
walk
back
around,
out.
Just go check out the invoice. And since I've never been there, I told her that I've never been there. And I walk around, I'm like, just kind of nodding my head up and down, looking around, going,
I can totally picture
yeah,
this.
I'm in the wrong spot altogether. and I'm trying to see past everything to make sure that I'm going in proper directions, because I don't want to be like walking towards negligee or something like that, thinking that like, oh, this guy's into probably wearing it on the side, or at the monster dildos. And I get around, I get around to this little half shelf, and it's behind the registers, and it's just this tiny little thing with about an inch of dust on it with little cobwebs in the corner. And it was like the fleshlights.
Oh, that's funny.
And basically the male section.
Crickets.
And I walked away, and I just kind of walked around the building, just in a big circle. And then there's 2 girls that were there shopping, and I just kind of tilted the old hat,
Lady.
I love how you don't know what to fucking do here. You just like suddenly you're a
down
cowboy.
so hard. As soon as I got out of that door, I like doubled my speed.
Walk into a
Up
Twilight
to get my
Zone.
pizza so I could go home.
Howdy, ma'am. I'm just here to kill time till I get my hot pie. I mean,
Hey, man.
I'm
Have
not
you
here
ever
to buy
tried the real
anything.
thing?
I just had an altercation with pineapple tonight, ma'am.
Yeah, oh,
Pineapple
that's
ruined
funny.
my pizza, so I'm here.
They were a sponsor for the our big burlesque show, our New Year's Eve show.
Let's talk about it.
New American
How'd it
Pep.
go?
It was fucking incredible, and I was so worried that I wasn't going to be able to do it because I was pretty sick just a few days before it, and I had to host the whole fucking thing. And we play every time we open the show. Our cue to get to your seats, get your drink or whatever, and the show's about to start is the Squirrel Nut Zipper song "Hell." It's the perfect song for us. But this, we were on. We went from smaller theater to really the biggest theater in town, and
I don't think I've been to this place.
you've never been to the
where's it at?
Pack, huh?
I don't think so.
It's right
Right next
downtown.
door.
It's where the big waterfall or the water fountain is downtown.
Yeah.
That is in the courtyard of the Numerica
Huh.
Pack and the Wenatchee Center. They're the same building. Numerica Pack is like right across the Wenatchee Ave from Lamolo and those little eateries right down there.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Jason Austin used to throw his Laugh Riot parties there. I'm not sure if you remember the
well,
Laugh
he
Riots.
he does them at the center. I went to one this last year because someone gave me a free ticket. It's fucking huge. Lyle, you're a little quiet. Can you either get a little closer or maybe bump your
Yeah.
mic up?
Is that better?
Yeah, I think
Is that
so.
too loud?
No, everything's sounding a little crackly tonight, but I think that's on my end. I think I need to get a better cable, but it sounds fine. But anyway, yeah, so it was going bigger and better is what we wanted for this show. So we did some group numbers and we changed some things up. And one of those things was I started the entire show by performing the Squirrel Nut Zipper song, all show
Oh
tune
my
style
God.
out there on the run. And that kind of singing and that kind of performing is not really in my wheelhouse. I feel pretty naked when I don't have a guitar, first of all. And
Yeah.
that sort of belting out a tune and dancing around the stage.
I think I saw a photo of you singing, and you're doing this thing with your hands. And I was like, wow, it's weird to see him singing without like a guitar strapped to him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's been stepping outside of my boundaries, but it was great. We could tell that a lot of the regulars were there, and they appreciated that I sang it for the first time. And then Sarah and I did a song, so I had to do a lot of performing along with hosting the entire thing. But we had the big video movie screen, so I did some visual gags and stuff. It was fucking fun. It was our biggest and bestest show by far. We had I think 12 performers, and it was ha-has and tatas. So we did stand-up comedians. We had 3 stand-up comedians. We did three different acts: burlesque, pole dancing, a little bit of drag, a little bit of live music. It was fucking incredible. 2.5 hour show taking us into the new year. And boy, when I woke up the next day, I was like, whew, from October until New Year's was just the biggest events kind of my life in a lot of ways, other than WenCon, And WenCon was a lot to pull off, but there are 30 people pulling that thing off. And I didn't have to sing or dance around, It was just like kind of go host some events and then get drunk at noon and walk around. I miss WenCon. But anyway, it was a fun event and sold out, and we keep hearing nothing but good things about it. Someone just sent me a $50 tip over Venmo tonight saying,
wow.
best host ever. I'm like, damn, that's really sweet.
Great, man.
All my work.
Well, huge congrats to you and the whole
troop.
troop. I mean, God, you guys started so small, and now look at this.
We started on Ray Gun stage at Radar Station, and I made a joke about that. We had a big catwalk stage at the Pack, and that was built for us specifically for the show. And I pointed out that one of the little square sections of this whole assembly was about the size of Ray Gun stage, and that's where we started with 4 performers. So yeah, it was a fun moment to share because there's a lot of people there. I asked the crowd, how many of y'all were here at how many of y'all have seen the Radar Dames back at Radar Station? There's quite a few people, quite a few OGs that have followed us. And look at us now, Ma, on the stage of Numerica Performing Arts Center. It was great. Magical night.
Awesome. That's great.
I missed out on a perfect picture driving through town. It was like right at night. It was right in the evening time. It was still light out, but there was a full moon,
Mm-hmm.
and it was right between the 2 buildings of the old radar station.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
And
that
so you
little
had-
alley.
Yeah, that little alley. So you had the plumber, building on one side. Then you had the bright colors from the gallery,
Mural, yeah.
and then above if you look straight down, like almost like a gun sight, you look up the mountainside, you can see the full moon.
Oh, that would be a
and
cool
a bunch
shot.
of clouds. Oh, it was so beautiful. It was just like, fuck, I didn't have my camera. I should have just stopped and took a picture of it with my phone.
Yeah.
But
I don't know how
was in
many
traffic.
people, I don't know how much I even shared when Radar Station was going away. I think quite a bit on the old show. Or no, I guess it would have been this show. I think we started this show while I still had Radar
I get
Station.
it confused.
Yeah. Yeah, because Radar Station went away in 2019. But the owners of Radar Station, of that building, just sold it. So they don't even own it anymore.
Oh no.
And the people renting it, they had to go. They were a local film production company, married couple, some cool peeps. They had to move out. I'm not sure what they're going to do with it. I think the guy that bought it just kind of wants to have his own art space. I don't think it's going to be open for a gallery. He just wanted a
Oh,
building
for
to like
shit.
fuck around, like just have fuck around with, and I'm like, really? Like 4,000 square feet to just fuck around with it. But he bought it. Whatever he does with it, that's his choice. But it's kind of interesting. Like now, nobody that was associated with that building during all those years, radar station is associated with it.
Wow.
End of an
That is
era.
crazy.
In fact, Chad,
Crazy.
who owned it with his parents, he and his wife sold their house here, which we've recorded some Bloody Oranges stuff in his studio, and they moved
yeah,
over to
yeah.
Olympia, so they're not even in Wenatchee anymore.
Oh no
Crazy.
shit! That was the
Huh.
first time I've seen you play. God, what is it? The thermal, the thermal,
Pheromone.
Oh,
theremin.
the theremin, yeah.
Yeah,
Pheromone.
Yeah, you might
theremin.
say that no one plays the theremin, and the theremin plays you. I was
That's
surprised
true.
Mm.
how well I could
I bought
control
one
it, but it's
because of
fucking
that.
tricky.
Yeah.
It's
It
you
was fun to
think
watch.
you're gonna, if you don't know, anyone listening that doesn't know, it's that metal rod that sticks up and you walk up to it with your hand and you're like it was used a
Sounds
lot for
ghostly
old
and eerie.
sci-fi movie soundtracks.
Yeah.
But you might think that
Star
you walk
Trek.
up to it and you just yeah, it probably was used on Star Trek now I think about it, the original
What was
theme.
the beginning of it?
Yeah, that's got to be a
You
thing.
haven't lived until you've seen John Spencer play the theremin on stage.
Oh yeah, well, my technique was to step up to it and wave my hand all over the place, but no, it's subtle. You gotta, you gotta hold your hand sort of like you're almost making the chef's kiss sign. That's how most people play it. Sometimes a pinky
Where
up.
you're
I think
sprinkling
Claire,
salt on some fancy meat.
just the chef's kiss right here. Pepper it, just pepper it, because
Well, it
if you
changes. It
if you're
changes
moving your
key from your
hand too much,
fingertips.
even from like 3 or 4 inches away, it's like oh, oh, oh. So you want those subtle movements. It's like you just barely moving your finger to go from and the vibrato is you literally like jerking off the air like fucking weird instrument and super weird to play, but yeah, we put that
Well,
on Zombie Song. That's what we recorded there.
and in the loop, there's a loop on the side of it. That
That's
loop
your
is actually
volume.
your volume knob.
Yeah.
So like if you're touching it, it doesn't make any noise at all. But the farther you get away, the louder it gets. I bought one after you watched you guys mess around with it because I wanted one so bad. It wasn't the wooden morgue, like the wooden one.
Oh, the Moog
The one Moog, the
or
one that
Moog, I
everybody
think it's
sought after. I think it's Moog, Mog. Something like
it's spelled Moog. I think it's
Um,
Moog. Yeah, that's how
I
you
th-
pronounce
I
it.
think what I got was it's a more updated kind of a plasticky version of that,
Mm-hmm.
but it still works. And it's got a MIDI in it, so you could actually just hook it up to a board, and for if you're recording, you could just get a good recording out of it
Yeah.
without noise.
Do you remember me talking about the documentary on theremin, the guy that invented the theremin? It's called An Electric
Yeah.
Odyssey. His
I've
fucking
probably
life
seen it.
story is so crazy. It's like I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen it, but he was like kidnapped by, was it the Soviet Union or some shit? And he was like held prisoner for this invention. And I don't remember. I'm pretty sure he was kidnapped by the KGB to not, make more kooky instruments, but to use his knowledge of this technology to, I don't know, to make weapons or surveillance stuff. But, and I think he was an old man by the time he was set free. Crazy fucking story. Look up the story or the documentary Theremin, An Electric Odyssey. Looks like it came out in 93. Yeah, KGB kidnapped him to work on inventions and surveillance technology. And during his
Crazy.
absence, he didn't even know how popular his instrument had really become, how much of a cult thing it had become, because he was behind the Iron Curtain. Crazy fucking time to be alive and in that kind of country. Wacky story for a wacky instrument. Clara Rockmore is one of the more famous theremin players of the time, and I love listening to her stuff. It all just sounds spooky and
Is she
cheesy in a weird way, but interesting instrument.
Is she about our age? Maybe a little bit older, like brown hair, skinny.
Clara Rockmore? Oh no, she was
No,
playing this
she's the
shit
older.
back in the 30s. No, she's,
Okay,
she's longer.
there's a
Looks like a skeleton now, Lau.
Yeah,
well, there's a lady
most thin.
that plays now, and she's just phenomenal. And
No.
she's a little bit older than us. She's probably in her 50s by now, probably like 55. Like I said, she's skinny. She's got long brown hair. She's I can't remember where she's from. If it's like Russia or something like that. But she's
Well, that's only 2 years older than me, so that's not that old.
well, I know.
Fucking
I mean,
ancient.
we're all that old, but I mean,
Decrepit.
you throw a quarter at all
Jurassic.
of us. we're
I'm just
at
over
least
here
going to
crumbling into dust.
5 years.
Is that what I'm
Yeah.
hearing? Mummy dust coming over the airwaves here.
Mm-hmm.
I
No,
can't
Clara
remember her name.
Rockmore was born in like the 1910s or something. She died. I think she died. I feel like she was interviewed for this documentary as an old woman, so she must have died in the 90s. But yeah, fucking
Should we,
fascinating story.
Should we move on to some trivia? What do you think, guys?
Yeah, where are we at time wise?
A little over a half hour.
I feel like we wanted to just do a little casual catch up, easing back into this. I've got part 2 of my kooky and kind of troubling and somewhat gross sex facts to bring on the next program. So
That's right. I'll tell my sex story too.
your one sex story?
I do have a child. It happened once. No, I think I mentioned.
You'll have to remind me sometime to tell you my sex story.
Right, I mentioned a month ago when we last spoke. You were doing your part 1.
I think you made me cut that
I was
out.
going to tell. No, it's in there. I heard you.
Oh, okay.
I said I would. I teased it. I said I would talk about it on the next podcast.
Oh, all right.
I can't really pronounce this girl's name. It's Carlo Linda, and then it's like Ika or Iyaka.
Oh, Carolina Ike. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, she's phenomenal. She's
How
so
were you
good.
pronouncing Carolina?
I don't know. I don't want to talk
Carl.
about it. I'm
Carolina.
I'm tired.
Carolina.
You know?
Well, if you've
One
never
of
seen
those
the word Carolina, but yeah, I recognize her. Yeah, she's amazing too.
Yeah,
But even like listening to a
awesome.
Modern Theremin, it still sounds like the kooky shit. It's more technical, probably. But so, Chris, are you saying that you're going to share your sex story on this episode or the next episode?
The next one.
Okay.
When my child's in
So
bed.
yeah, I think we're ready to go on to some weird triv. Of course, I don't have the theme song.
It's okay. I love my theme song. Love it. But if we're doing this twice a night, do you want to abate that? My feelings would not be hurt.
How
Feels like
about how about this? How about I'll just edit in the very end of it? Well, I promise you, people are going to complain, but I see what you're saying.
I don't want it to get that redundant for y'all.
Yeah. How about we'll see how it goes. How about we just don't do it now, and I'll just edit it.
Sure.
Then that won't be redundant because I won't be editing them back to back. So
Instead of editing it out, you got to edit it in.
edit that in.
Edit this out.
That is. Wake up, Ron.
Yeah, there'll be some a few kooky things to figure out, but
My kid just said, "Wake up, Ron."
wake up.
It's Weird Trivia with Christopher F. Hahn, a man from Florida who thinks square shit in nature. Don't get me started on the goddamn brown hair. It's Weird Trivia that might get Christopher fired.
All right, guys, let's get into it here. I got 4 questions for you. There may or may not be a Florida Daily Dubs. Forgive my voice. I'm gonna do my best here. Let's do this. Question 1: The NFL season is over, at least for those of us in Seattle. What a fucking year! Here's a here's an NFL related question. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. Sports Illustrated published an interesting article with a statistic about former NFL players. They claimed in a study that after 2 years of retirement, nearly 70% of NFL players would do this. Is it A? Does it make sense? 70% of NFL players after retirement end up doing this. Is it A, start a podcast?
Okay.
B, get divorced?
All right.
C, attempt to unretire, but usually can't pass the physical?
Yeah, I would like to unretire.
Or D, entered into bankruptcy or financial ruin? So again, 70% of NFL players, when they leave the draft, will do one of the following: start a podcast, get divorced, attempt to unretire, or enter into bankruptcy and financial ruin. Ronster.
Well, my first thought before you started listing anything was some sort of financial difficulties, because so many of these people, like young rock stars, hip hop stars, young movie stars, whatever, they just get into this mindset where not only are they rich, usually for the first time in their life, so they have a poor understanding of finances, but they're also in, that jet set lifestyle more often than not. Got to keep up with the Joneses, etc. Super easy to overspend. You think that money's going to be there forever, even though you're making millions, you're spending millions. So I think that is such a common thing. And I don't hear a whole lot about the NFL paying out handsome retirements, but that doesn't mean they don't. I feel like I've seen so many big name Seahawks that, like superstars back in the day. I feel like I've seen them at so many like insurance seminars around town. It's like they were the spokespeople. It was like, would they really be doing that if they were set still?
Come down to Frank's Ford dealership. And get
Yeah,
yourself a-
all the time. See, I was kind of expecting him to say, be a spokesperson for something or other, because I would have jumped on that in a heartbeat. But I'm going to go with financial hardships. They declare bankruptcy or otherwise. Strug.
Okay.
What's the one that we see all the time in Seattle? Stop freaking, call
Stop
beacon.
Stop freaking,
Call
call
beacon.
beacon.
Wasn't Marshawn Lynch one of the stop
Yeah.
freaking?
He's
Yeah.
the guy.
And he was the guy for a while. Well, I mean, besides Wilson.
He's our
I'm
guy.
sure he still gets paid well for that, but I could be wrong.
He's still everywhere. He's still on. He's still doing voiceovers, and he's on. He pops up all the time, Marshawn, even though he's
Yeah.
hasn't played for a couple of years.
All right, John Mark.
What's the thing I was going to say, develop some sort of like, what's the thing that happens to your brain when you,
CTE.
CTE, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I was going to say develop CTE,
Yeah, too easy.
but I think I'm going to go with the financial ruin.
I do want to know what
yeah.
percentage of former active players, not bench people that spent most of their careers on the bench, which is a lot of people, of course, but how many active players, what percentage actually come away with some level of CTE? It's got to be.
I think it's pretty high.
It's got to be high, man.
Yeah.
Every time I watch football, it's just like, and they got shit mic'd so you can hear the impact of those hits. But every time I hear those helmets together, it's just like, oh, just like a fucking injury. Like every play is some sort of injury. It's just a matter of how minor.
It sucks, but there's never been a time where they're more aware of it and doing everything they can, seemingly, without taking away the sport.
Yeah.
Like, I think concussion protocol is fucking great. I think,
but it has taken away a lot of the sport. Like some of
Yes.
these calls with roughing the quarterback or unnecessary roughness, you're like, what are they
100%.
supposed to do? Just fucking get
Yeah.
out of the way. Some of them are definitely 100%. That should be called.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, you could have hit your brakes
They-
a little bit.
They're making an effort.
Yeah.
But man,
Oh, for
I think
sure.
it makes me not want to put Logan in football. And
It's
that
terrifying.
it is, yeah. Anyways, all right. So Lyle, waiting on your
I was gonna say they've cracked down a lot of that with youth football
yeah.
over the years, like from when we played, like in the early '80s and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's day and night for safety. I'm gonna make it a family game. I believe a lot of people, and it doesn't even have to be athletic sports. I think even like in music, people get used to a custom of life, and what they'll do is they'll make all these millions of dollars, and they'll live that lifestyle so much that they'll forget about that they don't have any money, and they go into debt over it, and then next thing you know, they're broke.
Oh, it's
homeless.
instant.
Mhm.
It's instant. You have all
Very
those
much
things
so.
because sometimes you're paying for things out, right out the stove, but usually you're still paying mortgages and you're paying on, it's you still got taxes and got to live.
Mhm.
Yep.
Well, and the whole wife thing too. I mean, divorce rates and stuff too. I think would probably be one of those answers too.
Well, I was
You
thinking
know,
one reason
be
I
my
didn't chase
second.
that was I was thinking that it seems like during them being the rock stars and touring all over the place and constantly being gone, I feel like that's when the marriages would fall apart. But I can see if some of those people were in it for the wrong reasons. Like, oh, the big
Sure,
house
yeah.
is gone. I have to give back my all three of my Mercedeses. Fuck you, washed up Kraken.
I wanted to touch on
Washed up cracker.
Yeah, the more I thought about that, I was like, well, that wasn't the right word. there's a few of them.
Well, on a kind
I
of
mean, good or bad.
unrelated on an unrelated topic, something that I always thought would happen, like as you were older, say you got married, and your significant other passed, that you would get the other's Social Security. That way you had basically two incomes to live. Because it's a custom of living, I guess. That's not true at all. I couldn't believe that. When my dad passed, my mom, that's kind of what we all thought, and she was only able to pick either his or her Social Security to live on for the rest of her life, and the other one just went away.
Yeah,
which just seemed weird to me.
Yeah,
what I mean?
I don't
Because,
think
like,
I ever
in
thought that it would go
marriages-
to the spouse, but it's good to know.
Well, yeah, but like in like marriages, if you get divorced, in a comfort of living, you could sue the other for financial reasons, and get like alimony, which doesn't make sense to me.
It's
I
often
don't
half.
understand why.
It is
Yeah,
often
I
half.
did just
I don't,
off topic, but
I don't understand that either, honestly. If there's no kids involved, I've never understood that. That seems like some backwards bullshit. Why we are
Right.
all in the interest of, getting rid of some of these seemingly antiquated rules and laws, some of which that seem rather set up in a paternal society, patriarchal society, I should say. I don't know. That one seems like it was set up to protect women when women couldn't do anything. Because it was typically in the past, it was typically the women that would get half of what the man earned. It made sense back then. I don't know that it makes sense. I'd like to have someone with legal experience explain to me why I'm wrong on that, and I may be. I don't know. Obviously, if someone has an affair or someone's just straight up, and there's reasons that you could say, well, fuck that guy. Yeah, he deserves to lose half his shit, but that doesn't make sense on paper. Those are crimes of the heart. Anyway, moving on. Crimes of the heart. Chris, you're muted. I don't know if you're talking.
Oh, why we're muted? I mean, you get this out, but dude, I drove by your parents' old house the other day, and it was nostalgic as hell. I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, those bushes. I remember
It still
sneaking
looks
behind
about the
those
same,
bushes
yeah.
and smoking.
Yeah.
They don't. Do they still live there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't.
That'll be.
I
Where
thought they moved.
That'll be the last
Play
house.
this
in
again.
Hampshire.
Yeah.
Unless
Question
we hit the
2.
lottery. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Right.
I still muted? No. Okay. Question 2 is a Florida Daily Dubs.
Oh shit.
Ding 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 ding.
Got it ready, Lau?
We're
Daily. No, I don't. It's dark in my room.
We're out of practice.
do
here. Daily. Oh.
all right. Well, pretend that was awesome. In the 70s.
Daily
No.
Dubbies.
Oh,
no.
I don't know that. I can't pretend that was awesome. That made
Yeah.
certain things pucker.
No, I shan't.
That sounded like John Mark's chew toy. Yeah. Okay,
Wow.
Daily Dubbies.
Okay.
there it is.
Thanks, Lau.
Nailed it. Six try.
Oh, there we go. The daily. No. Oh shit.
Well,
Back-
you had a good try.
I'm trying.
He's still having a good try.
Still.
Oh, I feel like we're getting closer.
Okay. In the 70s,
That's good.
Florida attempted to create a man-made ocean reef out of this. Now, the experiment didn't work, and in fact, would end up causing a major ecological disaster. What was their man-made reef made of? Was it
I know.
A,
No.
Well, calm your titties down. Play the game now. Was it A, used tires?
Ooh.
Yeah.
Was it B, popcorn balls that had been sealed with wax?
I tell you what we gotta do.
You know, in wax.
Is it any crazier than half the things people come up with, though?
Lasers.
Yeah, I guess
And
it-
wax.
Is it C, charcoal? Or is
Okay.
it D, milk jugs?
Juggy.
It's funny. My first thought before you gave any answers was garbage. Unfortunately for me, it is literally all garbage. I just can't remember what garbage it was.
Used tires, popcorn balls that have been sealed in wax, charcoal, or milk jugs?
Boy, milk jugs came into my head as part of the garbage scenario, but rubber tires sounds super familiar. But I'm used to seeing rubber tires as part of the coastline, usually to be bumpers for boats. It's funny what we do with our old tires. The interest of
Grind them up and use them for asphalt.
brevity. I think I'm gonna. Oh boy.
2 points.
Oh, I feel.
No pressure.
I think I'm gonna go with tires, but man, I'm really thinking it could be milk jugs.
All
But
right.
I'll go
John Mark.
tires.
Yeah, I was waffling between tires and milk jugs too, but I'm gonna go with the jugs.
Going jugs. Those are
When
good
in
jugs.
doubt, hug the jug.
I need to hear the question one time.
Okay. The question, Lyle, was in the 70s, Florida attempted to create a man-made ocean reef out of this.
Okay.
Used
I'm gonna
tires,
go with-
popcorn balls, charcoal,
No,
or milk
I
jugs.
got that. I'm gonna go with tires because tires you could fill full of rocks, and over time, urchins and stuff will like grow on it, and then next thing you know, you got a man-made reef
Have you guys seen the
where jugs would float.
The
No,
man-
not necessarily.
man-made peninsulas that they made out at Lake Chelan, just so they could build super expensive lakeside property out
Yeah.
essentially in the lake? It really makes me angry for some reason. It's just like, well, this is a place of the lake where we can't actually build, so let's
We'll just make more
fill-
water for property.
let's just fill a shit ton of this super deep, beautiful, pristine lake. And they made these little peninsulas that they could put 4 or 5 super expensive houses on this little stretch that used to be just a beautiful vista out over the lake is now a neighborhood that kind of looks like it's floating on the lake. I mean, I'll be honest, it's beautiful and I get the appeal, but it just makes me angry. It just makes me angry that they
well, it's
built
good.
land into the water so that they could build more shit to be waterfront property. It's like,
Man.
that's some
Well, if
capitalism.
you
Ross
don't
Hire.
notice, a lot of those cabins and stuff, they pull water from the lake, and what they'll do is they'll run a pipe 100, 200 feet into the lake for drinking water and stuff like that, which is all corroded and over the years it just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Sad.
Anywho,
People that don't know
Pisses
Lake
me
Chelan, it's prestige. We're talking like really tropical blue water, inland. It's all fresh water. It's beautiful.
yeah,
And it's huge.
it's like
It's the lake
it is
itself
super
is
crystal
giant.
clear. Yeah, but when it's a cloudy day, it looks like the ocean. It's a
Yeah.
pretty big little lake.
All right. Question 3. Taylor Swift's Eras tour was one of the biggest tours the world has ever seen. In a recent interview, Taylor shared one of her unusual workouts she did in preparation. What did Taylor Swift do every day in preparation for her world tour? Hope you've been studying, Ronster.
I kind of have.
Was it
I'll
A?
explain in a bit.
100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, and 100 crunches.
It's pretty good.
Is it B? She would sing her entire set list while running at full speed on the treadmill.
Oh, I was doing some of that. Well, not that ridiculous, but I was doing some of that because I knew I had to dance around. If you're used to standing still at the microphone stand and you know you're
Yeah.
going to be moving around stage, you need to practice while moving around. And let me tell you, it's going to be bad at first. Yeah.
You're gonna look like Meatloaf in the 90s.
Just do wall to wall sweat.
For love,
Mm-hmm.
but I need a towel for my brow.
Was it C? She would wake up, have 2 Bloody Marys, go through her set, then take a nap.
That sounds about right.
That's very rock and roll.
Or is it D? She did hypoxic training, which I had to look up. Means holding your breath underwater for long periods of time, like divers do it.
Okay.
Again, what did she do in preparation every single day? 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups, 100 crunches, sing her entire set list while running at full speed on the treadmill, 2 Bloody Marys and a nap, or hypoxic training. Ronster.
Oh, well, I don't want to go with any of the boring ones. Hypoxic training is interesting. I don't know much about that, but you did describe what it is. I'm leaning toward that, but I'm also thinking that running on the treadmill while doing your whole set list is a hell of a way to fucking train. And the reason, I mean, it was obviously tongue-in-cheek, said that I'm training. I don't know if I talked about it, but one of these nights, several months ago, I feel like at this point, scrolling through TikTok, I came across somebody live streaming from the crowd, the current Taylor Swift show, and it was fucking gorgeous. I mean, musically, there's only a few songs of Taylor's that I know and like, so I wasn't none of them were being performed when I was watching, but just the sets and the whole stage and the costume changes, like, man, that girl is fucking working. And, it's like, I know Taylor Swift gets a lot of shit, but when people call her untalented, you need to do your fucking schoolwork, because that girl has been performing her whole fucking life. She's written most of her biggest songs. She had to sue her old manager or old record company to get her songs back. He wouldn't give them to her, so she re-recorded everything. That's what all the Taylor versions are. It's like, this girl has busted her ass and gone through a lot. The whole Kanye thing put her in a whole bad emotional state. Like, this person has lived her entire life in the spotlight. And I think when we see, like, some of the Britney Spears or Lindsay Lohans or some of the people that I think understandably go a little apey in that scenario, I feel like she's kept it together in an impressive way. But her show was fucking impressive. And yeah, I could see that taking some serious rehearsal. I think it might be a little extreme. I think you might have made this one up, but I like it. So I'm going to go with running on the treadmill, going through her whole set list.
All right, I'm going to put
that would fucking do it. That's the only thing you need to do.
All right, John Mark.
I like that one too, because it's kind of badass, honestly.
Yeah.
And it seems like it would be fucking hard, but it seems like reasonable for someone in that position to do something like that. I mean, think about like what of what Mick Jagger is doing at his age to stay like in shape so he could dance around on stage like that. You know what I mean?
He's doing the chicken in his living room right now.
We've seen the videos of his workouts and stuff, and it's like, that's pretty impressive. So if he's doing shit like that, I'm imagining someone like Taylor Swift who knows that she has to deliver, right?
Oh yeah, the pressure of that.
So I'm going with the treadmill thing.
Although I do like the idea that maybe at this point in her career, Taylor has proved everything and she feels confident enough to just go out and fucking rock it. So she's training up for the party life that goes along with it, with the Bloody Marys.
Bloody Marys.
I won't be upset if I'm wrong to Bloody Marys on this one. Lyle, where are you feeling?
If she's physically, I just started going back to the gym. I got 3 days in, constant 3 days, getting off of COVID and stuff, and I've been working pretty hard. And if you were doing just that, the beginning regiment, you would be, for every day, you'd be pretty shredded, especially, because you're getting a high metabolism. She's always on the road, so she's probably not eating real, bad stuff. And she's got a lot of people looking
I think
after
people
her.
like T Swift have like private chefs that go on their fucking
No,
tour.
that's what I'm saying. She's probably like
100%.
eating good.
Not like she's eating at fucking Taco Bell or anything.
Yeah,
No,
unless she wants.
she's not. She's not eating pizza. I don't. Like I said, she would be ripped. Second of all, she plays guitar on a lot of her stage
and
stuff.
piano. Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff that I've seen. So the whole treadmill thing would be kind of pointless if you're not doing it with a guitar. You know what I mean?
It's about the singing.
Getting your pipes
if you're running
in
across
shape,
the
100%.
stage, you might want to have a guitar in your hand and the treadmill just to know the feel of it bouncing around, and being able to play chords and stuff like that while you're running. That's just me in hindsight of being able to play guitar, and I wouldn't want to run around.
No, that's a whole different thing too. But those guys have to practice doing that too. It is training.
Well, for sure. Yeah, I mean, look at Metallica. I mean, they all run around with guitars and huge stages.
Yeah, that kind of stuff never came naturally to me. Like being the jump around, the super high energy kind of guy. That was never the kind of music I made. It was never kind of
right. Like Eddie
That's
Van
why
Halen
this
or
whole
whatever.
thing was kind of new for me. Not that I was jumping around like a circus monkey, but it was new. So where are you leaning, Lon?
What was number 4?
Hypoxic training.
I think that's it. I think as a singer, you almost have to train your lung capacity. We used to have to do it when we were trying to like mimic certain, like Pantera Cemetery Gates. The end of that, you had to literally like inhale as much air as you possibly could in your lungs, and then at least half a breath more and hold it. Enough to expand your lungs that much to even come close to belting out that one last tone from that song.
The Pantera method.
And you don't get that from anything else. I mean, you really don't. I mean, you could do running on treadmill and stuff like that. That's going to get your short oxygen up, but to get your full capacity of your lungs, opened up, something like that would most definitely benefit you, for sure, 100%.
Yeah.
Like holding your breath underwater.
I like all these answers, so I'm curious to see which way we go.
Okay, question 4. Speaking of underwater, Lord knows I do not enjoy fishing or even fish, really. But here's an interesting statistic on fishermen and the fish involved in catch and release. One of the following statements is true. The rest I made up. Is it A, about 1/5 of the fish that are caught and released will die from that experience?
1/5.
Typically, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It
B.
depends if they swallow the hook or not.
Fishermen who practice catch and release are 90% less likely to commit violent crimes.
Little
Is it
compash.
C?
Although not that much compash. Use a fucking hook through your jaw. Aren't I nice?
Is it C? Fish that are caught and released develop some kind of trust issue and are twice as likely never to be caught again.
Yeah, I would believe that. Although I feel like fish are kind of dumb.
I've seen the opposite. I've seen people catch the same
They're like,
fish.
oh, I got a taste for metal now.
Yeah. Give me
Or
that
is it
word.
D? Fish that are caught and released have a good chance of becoming much more aggressive with other fish. So again, one of these is true. I'm going to go over them real fast again.
Got a chip on
About
their fin.
1/5. Yeah, no shit. Chip on their fin.
Something fishy about this fish story.
I'm just looking for a reason, motherfucker. Give me a goddamn reason.
About 1/5 of the fish that are caught and released will die from that experience anyways. B, fishermen who practice catch and release are 90% less likely to commit a violent crime. C, fish that are caught and released develop some kind of trust issue and are twice as likely never to be caught again. Or D, fish that are caught and released have a good chance of becoming much more aggressive with other fish. Ronster.
Well, I've never really thought about the percentage of catch and release that the catch was a little brutal. Although I think usually you can tell when you've, when like that hook is a little too far down the throat and maybe a little conk on the noggin is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't think fish are smart enough to get terribly wise about, hook me once, shame on you scenario. What was B?
Fishermen who practice catch and release are 90% less likely to commit violent crimes.
That's interesting. God, this is tough. I guess I like the idea that fish are more likely to be more aggressive. I mean, they've experienced something totally unique, sort of a near-death experience, quite literally.
Yeah.
I'll go with
Bitch,
D.
I've seen God. Bring it.
Yeah, it's like I saw the hand of God. He plucked the hook out of my throat. He showed me mercy.
He stole my lunch and then gave me mercy.
It's like, oh, hang on, I'm gonna go after this little bug here. Oh, what the fuck, Gary? Again? Oh, this fits into my week. Yeah, D. That's a
Are you
tough
going
one.
with the aggression?
I'm going with aggression. Just total guess.
Okay. John Mark.
What was the first one? 1/5 of them die.
Yep.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with that one.
I'm curious to know what that stat is. That feels rightish.
Yeah.
Lyle.
Yeah. Typically, I'd lean towards the catch and release. The person's a little bit more compassionate,
A little less
you know.
psychopathic.
They're living with their food. It's a hunting kind of thing.
It's not food if you release it.
That's true.
If it's too small and you can't eat it, you might as well throw it back. The fish gets pretty big within a year. That's why they call them. But it doesn't matter. I'm gonna go with the catch and release. Tendencies for them to survive is very low, according to just people that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, that seems fairly
there's
high to me.
certain-
1 out of 5.
There's certain ways of actually removing a hook, and if you don't do it properly, you could really fuck them up.
Yeah.
All right, I'll put you down for an A here, Lyle. All right.
And it all depends on how you fish too. A lot of people fish, they'll use barbless hooks so they don't have to hurt them. They'll just bite it,
Easy
so
in,
it'll hook
easy
in
out.
their like little lip. Easy in, easy out, easy peasy.
Mm-hmm. Although easy for us to say.
Yeah, well, usually you don't make it to the boat; they flop out.
Yeah.
I caught 5 fish, but none in the boat.
All right. We have an interesting outcome here. Let's go over the answers and see who's on top. The NFL season has ended for us in Seattle. Been a funky year, but sorry. Ron, make me sound good. Sports Illustrated published an interesting article with the statistic that said that 70% of the players that retire from the NFL will enter into bankruptcy or financial ruin within 2 years. It sounds pretty bad,
75%.
and you were dead on with the Jet. They're young. They're fucking young
Yeah.
when they enter the NFL, and they're making just this ridiculous amount of money, and they just learn. They don't learn how to manage their money. They don't save. They think they're going to have a longer career than they do.
Yeah.
And just like you said, quit freaking call Beacon 6 months later.
Yeah. Well, they don't all
you're
get
lucky,
those $200 million contracts.
Yeah.
A lot of them are more.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 5 million. But
Sure. Or fucking Brock Purdy, the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers, he has to share an apartment with a linebacker. Like, he's making the rookie contract amount.
yeah. I remember when Wilson
Crazy.
was there. He was the lowest paid quarterback in the league, if I remember, when the boom, the Legion of Boom and all that stuff was really rocking and rolling.
Crazy.
That changed.
Yep. All right, everyone got that right for a point. Moving on to our Florida Daily Doubles. We're 2 points here. In the 70s, Florida attempted to create a man-made ocean. The experiment didn't work and, in fact, would lead to an ecological disaster. Their man-made reef was made out of used tires.
Okay.
Excuse me.
What was that?
I sneezed. We're trying to sneeze away from the camera.
God bless you.
Yeah. Ron and Lyle got that correct for a point. 2 points a pop, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
Which means Ron and Lyle currently have 3 points and John Mark has 1.
Well,
Question.
I'm out.
Now, why would it have been an ecological
Well-
disaster? Just because the rubber disintegrates in the sea and becomes...
I think so. Like, it ended up killing most of the fish in the area.
Well, yeah.
It
it's-
became untethered too, or something like that. So it was all moving around when it shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's like chemicals in the tires too that like would pollute the water versus so much anything else.
Yeah, file under
Yeah, none
it.
of that shit's good to be.
It was a
in-
good idea in theory.
It's like,
Oh, it makes
Yeah.
sense. I
Well,
mean,
he-
people grow freaking potatoes out of tires.
Would you ever
that's
look up
different
those?
though.
You ever
Well,
look
no,
up
I
the
know, but
footage
I'm
of these
saying-
garbage islands that are out, like in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, and they accumulate more garbage, and they're getting so big that wildlife
there's one
is
that's
starting
bigger
to
than
set
Texas.
up. That's like it's
What?
bigger than Texas.
Yeah, it's bigger than
Where?
Texas.
Holy
It's
shit!
look it up. Here, I'll Google it.
Yeah,
real
you,
quick.
you Google it while
that
Chris
shit on
is
a satellite.
wrapping us up here.
All right. Taylor Swift's Eras Tour was one of the biggest tours the world has ever seen. In a recent interview, Taylor shared one of her unusual workouts she did in preparation every single day. And Ron was dead on. She would get on the treadmill, put it at full blast for a higher tempo song, and belt the whole song out, move on to the next song. When it was slower, she'd go a little slower.
Wow.
And that's what she did every day.
Damn.
Which is crazy to me. It's hard to have a conversation while going
Yeah.
fast on a treadmill.
Yeah.
To sing, wow. Ron and John Mark got that correct.
Just try jogging with like
Yeah.
a partner and then trying to talk to each other while you're
Oh,
jogging.
yes.
It
It's
takes
brutal.
yeah.
Ron and John Mark got that correct for another point a pop,
Oh, this
putting
is
Ron
looking
at
interesting.
4 points.
Damn.
And John Mark at 2 currently. Lyle sitting at 3. Question 4. 1 in 5 fish that are caught and released will fucking die anyway. And Lyle was dead on. It all depends on the angler and their knowledge of how to remove a hook and different types of fish, the breed. So
Sure.
some die even more than others. But yeah, that's exactly right. They just they don't end up living very long. 1 in
Interesting.
5.
1 in 5.
Bass are really they're strong. You could usually rip a hook out of a bass and they'll live. But like some like startler of like trout and stuff, they won't. I mean, the small like starter trouts that are less than a year old, you got to be really careful with them because they will tear and they'll bleed, and they'll just basically bleed out, which is kind of sad.
I saw Starter Trout open for Super Drag back in 2003. Pretty good.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. This means we have a tie for
I
this.
thought so.
I'm gonna give you 2 choices in the tiebreaker, and I'm gonna let Ronster pick the tiebreaker because I feel like on both of these it's possible that Lyle may have an edge, but we'll see.
Okay.
Your subjects are Star Wars or video games.
Is it a
Both are
video
number
game or
based,
a
so you won't
Star
have to know
Wars
like the
video
title of
game?
a video game or anything like that.
Well, I got to go Star Wars.
Ooh, good choice. Okay, guys, the key to this answer is speed. So Lyle, Ronster, please
Okay.
open up a text message to me currently.
Text just
I
you.
want this. I don't want you to have a lot of time to think.
Okay.
Like this. I want this text in 5 seconds.
5. I don't
Lyle, you on board,
my
baby?
fat thumb can do that. I'll get you fast.
Yes.
Okay. This is a number. I want it. It's years. I want you to tell me how old was Darth Vader when he died on the Death Star? How old was Darth Vader? 5,
God.
4, 3,
This is probably something that
2, 1.
I'm going to be embarrassingly off,
Ron?
but
Oh my God, this is incredible.
35.
I'm just going by how the dude looked when his helmet came up.
This is my favorite so far. Ronster said 52. I think that's a pretty fair guess. Lyle says 45.
He lived hard life, man.
The correct answer was 45.
Oh, no shit. Wow, nice job.
Well done, Lyle.
Ain't no
Taking
fucking
this-
around with that.
This night's
Daddy's
weird
home.
trip. Daddy's back. Crippler home to
Daddy's
roost.
back.
Just got smacked across the face with
Congratulations.
a baby-sized.
Well, it's been a year since I've won. God damn.
Get a
45.
2 for in our next night. 45, isn't that nuts?
Yeah. He looked so old and crusty when we were kids, but so did 45-year-olds.
Well, he's burner.
I mean, think about it.
Yeah,
Because
he was
he's
toast.
what, like 21 or 22 when he turns into Vader. And
Well, I
at
would have
that
thought
point,
about it if you
his
gave me
kid-
time, but I didn't have time.
No,
I
didn't
probably
want
still
you-
would have
fair
guessed
enough.
it, I guess.
I didn't want you to think too hard about it.
It wouldn't have
Yeah,
helped.
All
and
right,
I think Luke was supposed to be what, like 19 in the first Star Wars movie. Yeah.
So yeah, a couple years
Checks
passed.
out.
That's right. Yeah.
So
All right, guys.
I looked it up. The Garbage Patch, Great Garbage Patch, Pacific Garbage Patch, twice the size of Texas, 3 times the size of France.
Christ.
Holy shit.
The Great
That's
Garbage
insane.
Patch.
The Great Pacific Garbage
the biggest
Patch. Yep.
island.
Oh, okay.
Twice the size of Texas.
Yep.
I got to look it up.
Wow.
Chris, if you need to head
Are
out,
they doing anything about
put the
it,
kid
or
to
are they
bed.
just
We
letting it
might
go?
go a couple minutes talking about this. I got to look this up.
Yeah, go for it. I'm gonna go put the kid to bed. We'll be ready for round 2.
All right. See you
right.
next week. Okay. What's it
yeah,
called?
it's like basically right
Pacific?
in the middle of the Pacific Ocean between this convergence zone, and there's like just the way the currents kind of like swirl
shit.
around there. All the garbage in
Just
that
holds
area,
it in one spot.
it just
Oh,
holds
that
it in
is
one
something to
spot, and it keeps
see.
getting bigger and bigger.
Wow, that is
dude, that's
something to
just
see.
insane. Texas is huge.
So it's narrow.
Yeah.
It's just like, I mean, I don't know how narrow it is, but it's longer than it is. But it's
Wide or whatever.
huge.
Yeah.
It's so hard to make heads or tails out of any one object because it does kind of just look like rocks on a sandy beach. Oh, now there's a zoom then. Water bottles, of course. Let's see if I can identify a few things. Oh, that looks like an Xbox floating out there. Styrofoam. Obviously, that's probably what the bedrock of the whole thing is. Water bottles and
That's a
styrofoam.
floater.
Oh, someone's rowing a boat through it. Are they trying to do anything with this? Is it just like let it happen and all the garbage will go to it?
There's various people and organizations that are trying to figure out what can be done, but there's no good solutions yet.
Wow, can you imagine being out to sea and coming across this? It would be like,
I mean, it might.
a
If you're
famous landmark,
stranded,
but-
it might be the best thing that ever happened to you.
yeah, you're
This-
just out there in a
this,
life raft. He's like, there's got to be
bottles
something to eat and drink in there.
The Wikipedia article says that some of the plastic in the patch is over 50 years old and includes items and fragments of items such as plastic lighters, toothbrushes, water bottles, pens, baby bottles, cell phones, plastic bags, and nurdles, whatever a nurdle is.
Nurdle.
Weird.
Huh.
I'm gonna have to click on that because what the fuck is a nurdle?
Yeah,
oh,
let's find
plastic pellet pollution of some sort. Plastic pellets,
Oh, like
pre-production plastic
packing
pellets. Yeah.
Materials.
Well,
So the plastic
like
pellets that
the
they-
peanuts.
Before they turn
apocalyptic.
before they turn it into a product, it's like the plastics that are like, you know what I mean,
Oh, right.
Well,
Raw materials.
before they
Oh,
melt
okay.
it into something and mold it.
Gotcha.
Where is it now? Can it be tracked? I wonder if you can see it. You got to be able to see it from space. There's got to be some
Yeah,
photos.
you think so?
Garbage
That's what I was
patch
thinking. You
from
can probably see it through a satellite,
space.
or
Let's
even
see.
Google Earth for that matter.
These are just illustrations. I'm not
It's
seeing.
a relatively stationary region.
So it doesn't move. Everything comes to it.
Yeah.
Ooh, creepy.
And that's some Mad
is
Max shit. Like someone's it's gonna get solid enough to live on, and there's just gonna be a little kingdom of mad garbage people out there.
Well,
This is my
it should
land.
be the next water world, but it'll be garbage world.
It should be.
Is
be
it- Oh, I
awesome.
wonder if this is.
They
this
bring
is
in
it.
Kevin Costner
Garbage
for
patch.
as a guest.
Atlantic Ocean seen from space. Now I'm not seeing any images from space. Lots of illustrations showing you how big it is from space, and that's something to behold. I mean, you know how
Fine,
big
you know.
Texas is. Double it, and put it out to sea. Oh my God!
Apparently, there's
Holy shit! It's
a lot of different creatures living in it and on or around it.
Oh,
looks,
yeah.
It looks
Why wouldn't there
bigger
be?
than twice the size of Texas. It looks half the size of South America.
Whoa.
I know
That's
these
scary.
flat
That's
maps
scary.
distort weird, but well, anyway. Well, let's get on out of here, y'all. Thanks for putting up with us as we've missed so many episodes, and I think this will be a good solution. Felt like a normal
Happy
episode. Feels weird to be recording one again so soon, but I'm excited.
Happy 2024, guys.
Yeah, happy 2024. Here's hoping that things go well, whatever that means. All right, y'all. Tune in next week. We will definitely be talking about 9/11. I got to remember that. Got time to get to that episode. Till then, see y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Give me a dildo that's as thick as a baby.